For this video, I am going to discuss operations on functions and the composition of functions, wherein our objectives are the following. First is to perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of functions, followed by finding the composition of functions, and then solve problems involving operations on functions. The following are the different rules in performing operations of functions. Let's say, for instance, we have two functions, f and g. For the sum of the function, we have y is equal to f plus g of x, or simply f of x plus g of x. And then for the difference of a function, we have y is equal to f minus g of x, or simply f of x minus g of x. And then for its product, we have f times g of x, that is also f of x times g of x. And then for the quotient, we have y is equal to f over g of x, or f of x divided by g of x, wherein g of x should not be equal to 0 to avoid our function to be undefined. Okay. Okay. In performing different operations and functions, we simply follow all the rules that we have in performing operations on polynomial expressions. So, if you can still remember, no, nung kayo ay grade 8, you have discussed different operations in polynomial expressions. So, yung mga rules na ina-apply natin in adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing polynomial expressions are just the same, but this time, ang gamit naman natin ay functions. So, in adding functions, we simply combine expressions that are like terms. So, ano nga ba yung like terms? Like terms are expressions having the same variable and degree. Ibig sabihin yan, to be able that terms are to be like, no? Dapat parehas yung kanilang variable at parehas yung mga exponent nun. Also remember the rule in integers that values or terms having the same sign should be added and retain their signs, otherwise we are going to subtract. And then for subtraction naman, you should always remember to enclose the functions into a parenthesis, especially the subtrahend. That is because to emphasize the operation for subtraction, because most of the time when it is not written properly, it was mistaken as a negative sign of the term next to it. So before we proceed in adding and subtracting functions, so let us try this as a warm-up. So tell whether the given items in each number are like terms or not. Okay, for number 1, like terms ba sila or hindi? So for number 1, we have 5x squared at saka x squared. So this one, they are like terms. Okay, that is because parehas sila variable x and then parehas sila ng exponent. Then for number 2, our given are 11x cubed and 5x raised to 4. So as you can see, they have the same variable x, but those variables magkaiba ang kanilang exponent. So for this one, they are not like terms. And then for number 3, we have 3a raised to 5 and 7b raised to 5. So parehas sila ng exponent. But this time, magkaiba naman ang variable. So we cannot consider them as like terms. How about number 4? 2m raised to 7 and 5m raised to 7. So parehas sila variable ay m, and then they have the same exponent na 7. So this one, they are like terms. And then last item, we have 6y raised to 4 and 3y squared. They have the same variable, pero magkaiba naman ng kanilang exponent, so they are not like terms. Okay, now let's start. Okay, given that we have the two functions f of x is equal to 4x cubed plus 3x squared plus 5x minus 11, and g of x is equal to 2x squared minus 8x plus 3. Okay, what is f plus g of x? So f plus g of x, that is also equal to f of x plus g of x. So for our f of x, we have 4x cubed plus 3x squared plus 5x minus 11, and then plus yung ating g of x, yung value niya we substitute, that is 2x squared minus 8x plus 3. Now, perform the indicated operation, okay, by combining like terms. So, as you can see, yung 4x cubed, nag-iisa lang siya at wala na siyang kasamang ibang term na kaparehas niya. So, mariretain na siya as 4x cubed. And then, for 3x squared, siya ay like term with the 2x squared. So, pwede natin silang ipag-combine by adding their numerical coefficients. We have 3 plus 2, that is 5, and then x squared. So, 3x squared plus 2x squared, that is 5x squared. Okay, 5x, it is like term with negative 8x. So, pwede natin sila ipag-combine. So, 5x minus 8x, that is negative 3x. And then negative 11 plus 3, that is negative 8. So, one of the rule of our integer, no, kapag magkaiba ang sign, we are going to subtract their value and then kukunin natin yung sign ng mas mataas na number. So, this time, mas mataas yung 11. So, masusunod yung sign niya na negative. So, we have negative 8. So, f plus g of x, that is 4x cubed plus 5x squared minus 3x minus 8. Okay, using the same given, punta naman tayo sa subtraction. So, what is f minus g of x? So, f minus g of x, that is also equal to f of x minus g of x. So, let's substitute yung ating mga given function. F of x, that is 4x cubed plus 3x squared plus 5x minus 11, and then minus g of x, that is 2x squared minus 8x plus 3. So, for subtraction, no, one rule na naaral natin nung tayo ay nasa junior high school is that pinapalitan natin yung sign ng ating subtrahend and then we proceed to addition. So, itong part na to magiging negative 2x squared plus 8x minus 3. And then we proceed to addition. Then, by combining like terms, so 4x cubed, wala tayong makikitang like term niya, so retained ulit siya. And then 3x squared, it is like term with negative 2x squared. So 3x squared plus negative 2x squared, that is x squared. Then 5x plus 8x, that is 13x. Then negative 11 plus negative 3, that is negative 14. So, f minus g of x is equal to 4x cubed plus x squared plus 13x minus 14. So, reminder lang, no, in writing our functions, it's important that nasusunod natin yung order nila. Kasi ito, kapag pinagbaliktad natin, meron siyang ibang result. Let's say, for instance, what is g minus f of x? So, that is also equal to g of x minus f of x. So, g of x, that is 2x squared minus 8x plus 3 minus 4x cubed plus 3x squared plus 5x minus 11. Okay. Palitan natin yung sign niya, baliktarin natin, siya ay magiging negative 4x cubed minus 3x squared minus 5x plus 11. And then we proceed to addition. So, for our answer, yung negative 4x cubed, wala naman siyang ka-like term with our given. So, retain siya as negative 4x cubed. So, 2x squared plus negative 3x squared, that is negative x squared. Negative 8x plus negative 5x, that is negative 13x. And then 3 plus 11, that is positive 14. So, g minus f of x is equal to negative 4x cubed minus x squared minus 13x plus 14. So, as you can see, ganito yung mangyayari, no, kapag nabaliktad ninyo yung order ng dalawang function. Magkaiba sila ng result. Kaya, dapat tandaan, you follow the order. Hindi pwedeng ang given sa inyo ay f minus g of x, and then what you are going to perform is g minus f of x. Okay, for now, let's have multiplication and division of functions. But before that, I will discuss first different rules that you are going to use in performing multiplication and division on functions. So, let's have the different laws of exponents. wherein A should not be equal to 0 and B should not be equal also to 0. So, unahin na natin yung product rule. This rule states that if you are going to multiply exponents having the same bases, you just copy the base and then you add the exponents. So, for instance, we have x raised to 5 times x raised to 2. So, we copy the base x and then we're going to add the exponents 5 plus 2. X raised to 5 plus 2, that is equal to x raised to 7. Now, let's have the quotient rule. For quotient rule, it states that if you are going to divide exponents having the same bases, you just copy the base and you subtract the exponents. So, for example, x raised to 5 divided by x raised to 2, it will become x raised to 5 minus 2. 5 minus 2 is equal to 3, so we have x raised to 3. Next naman ay ang power rule, an exponent with another exponent. So, a raised to x raised to y. For the power rule, we simply multiply the two exponents na meron sila. So, for example, we have x raised to 5 raised to 2. So, we have x raised to 5 times 2. It will become x raised to 10. Then for power of a product rule, that is also equal to a raised to x times b raised to x. So as you can see, the exponent was distributed dun sa dalawang variable. For instance, we have quantity x times y raised to 2. So the answer will be x squared times y squared. Just in case no, na merong value sa loob or numbers yung mga nasa loob na yan, may dalawa kayong option. Pwedeng i-distribute ninyo itong exponent muna bago ninyo i-perform yung operation, or pwede naman na ipag-multiply muna ninyo yung dalawang nasa loob bago ninyo i-perform ang exponent. Kagaya nitong mga example na to. Okay, for power of a fraction rule, we have quantity a over b raised to x. That is also equivalent to a raised to x divided by b raised to x. For example, we have quantity x over y raised to 2. So it will become x squared divided by y squared. Then for 0 exponent, we have a raised to 0 is equal to 1. Okay, tandaan, any variable or term or value that is raised to 0, ang sagot lang dyan ay 1. Kahit pa po yan ay 1 million, 1 billion, or 1 trillion, that is always equal to 1 as long as the exponent is 0. Now, let's have the negative exponent because there are times when we apply quotient rule for exponents, no, kakalabasan minsan ay negative ang exponent. So, what we are going to do is to find its reciprocal. Just in case na whole number yung nag-negative ang exponent, as we all know, ang denominator lagi nun ay 1. So, for its reciprocal, we have 1 over a raised to x. Okay, for example, we have x raised to 2 divided by x raised to 5. Applying quotient rule, we have x raised to 2 minus 5. So, it will become x raised to negative 3. So, since negative ang exponent niya, we are going to apply this rule. We find its reciprocal. So, that is 1 over x raised to 3. So, for fractional exponent, we can convert it in a radical form. Let's say, for instance, we have x raised to 3 over 4. Its radical form is 4th root of x raised to 3. Kapag ganito ang given, yung denominator dito sa exponential form natin ay siyang magiging value ng index sa ating radical form. And then yung numerator naman dito ay magiging exponent ng ating radicand. Yung radicand ay yung term inside the radical sign. Okay, let's have multiplication of function. Okay, given that we have f of x is equal to x squared minus 1, g of x is equal to x plus 1, and h of x is equal to x minus 1. What is f times g of x? So that is also equivalent to f of x times g of x. So, kunin natin kung ano man yung mga function na yan. F of x that is x squared minus 1 times g of x that is x plus 1. So, by multiplying, we have x squared times x that is x cubed, x squared times 1 that is x squared, negative 1 times x that is negative x, and negative 1 times positive 1 that is negative 1. So, meron ba tayong mga like terms na pwede nating ipag-combine? Since wala naman, that is already our answer. X cubed plus x squared minus x minus 1. Okay, how about g times h of x? So that is also g of x times h of x. Our g of x is x plus 1, and then h of x that is x minus 1. So performing the indicated operation, we have x times x that is x squared, x times negative 1 that is negative x, positive 1 times x that is positive x, and then positive 1 times negative 1 that is negative 1. So as you can see on this part, meron tayong like terms that is negative x and positive x. So ito, pag pinag-minus natin, 0 na ang magiging value niya or may eliminate na siya. So we have now x squared minus 1. Okay, now proceed naman tayo sa division of functions. So our given functions are the following. F of x is equal to 30x cubed, g of x is equal to 6x, h of x is equal to x squared minus 1, and I of x is equal to x plus 1. So let's have first f over g of x. So that is also f of x divided by g of x. So our f of x that is 30x cubed, and then g of x that is 6x. So for this one, we have 30 divided by 6 that is 5, and then x cubed divided by x that is x squared. So paano nangyari yon? Applying quotient rule, no? We have 3 minus 1, yung sub-exponent, 3 minus 1, that is 2. So we have 5x raised to 2. Okay, second example, we have h over I of x, or simply h of x divided by I of x. H of x is x squared minus 1, and then I of x is x plus 1. So as you can see in our given, siya ay in a quadratic form. So kapag ganito, you examine first, no, yung inyong given, baka siya ay may mga factors. So kung sakaling siya ay may mga factors, you factor out first before you proceed in performing the operation. So x squared minus 1, that is factorable to x minus 1 and x plus 1. So as you can see dito sa given natin, may pwede tayong i-cancel out. Kaya it's important na nakakapag-factor out. So x plus 1 divided by x plus 1, that is already equal to 1. So eliminate na natin siya. So what we have left now is x minus 1. Okay, for the composition of functions. So composition of the function f and g is denoted by f circle g. So ang basa po dyan ay not O but rather circle. F circle g, and is defined by the equation f circle g of x or f of g of x. So dito sa composition of functions, we are going to substitute one function to the other function, and it will result to another function ulit. So, for example, no, we have the following given functions. F of x is equal to x squared plus 11, g of x is equal to x minus 1, and h of x is equal to x cubed. Find f circle g of x. So, f circle g of x, that is also equal to f of g of x. So, for this one, we are going to substitute g of x sa f of x. So, ano ba yung f of x natin? We have, substitute natin sa kanya yung g of x. So, dito, ang pinakang tip natin, no? So, yung pinaka-inner term, isa-substitute natin sa kasunod niya na term. So, we have g of x that is x minus 1, substitute natin papunta dito sa variable x ng ating f of x, it will become quantity x minus 1 squared plus 11. So that is x minus 1 times x minus 1 plus 11, x times x, that is x squared, x times negative 1, that is negative x, negative 1 times x, that is negative x, negative 1 times negative 1, that is positive 1. And then plus 11, huwag kakalimutan. After that, we combine like terms, yung mga pwede natin pagsama-samahin. So for this one, we have x squared, then negative x plus negative x, that is negative 2x, then 1 plus 11, that is positive 12. Okay, let's have another example, no? So, it's important na hindi na kakabaliktad yung pagsasubstitute natin ng function. That is because magkaiba yung lalabas na sagot sa kanila. So, let's try this one, no? Ano ba yung kaibahan ni f circle g of x sa g circle f of x? So, we have g circle f of x that is equal to g of f of x. This time, ang isa-substitute natin ay f of x sa g of x. So, our g of x that is x minus 1, we're going to substitute f of x dito sa variable x. It will become x squared plus 11 minus 1. So, by performing the indicated operation, we have x squared plus 10 because 11 minus 1, that is 10. So, it's important na you follow the order nitong mga functions. Dapat ay hindi sila nagkakabaliktad. As you can see, magkaiba yung result ng f circle g sa g circle f. Now, what if naman ganito ang given? We have g circle f circle h of x. So, again, the tip is we start from the inner term, yung pinaka-inner term papunta sa palabas. So, ipe-perform muna natin yung f of h of x and then yung magiging result nun, isa-substitute naman natin sa g of x. So, our f of x, that is x squared plus 11, sa-substitute natin yung h of x dun sa variable x niya, that is x cubed, it will become x cubed raised to 2 plus 11. Okay, performing indicated operation, x raised to 3 raised to 2, that is equal to x raised to 6. So we have x raised to 6 plus 11. So itong na-obtain naman natin na function from f circle h of x, we are now going to substitute it sa g of x. Our g of x is x minus 1. So substitute it dito sa x, we have x raised to 6 plus 11, then minus 1. That is x raised to 6 plus 10. 11 minus 1, that is 10. So that is g circle f circle h of x. Okay, now let us apply what we have discussed on this problem. An umbrella retailer has a total cost function of c of x is equal to 75x plus 4,500 and a total sales function s of x is equal to 125x. Find the equation of the profit function for this product. So, for the profit function, as we all know, no, kapag profit ang pinag-uusapan, para makuha natin yon, that is the total sales o yung kabuuang benta, ibabawas natin dun yung kabuuang gastos. So, profit is equal to total sales minus the total cost. So, by substitution, yung mga given function natin sa ating problem, we have p of x is equal to s of x minus c of x. So, s of x, that is 125x minus our cost function. So, baliktarin natin yung mga sign nito. It will become negative 75x minus 4,500. And then, we proceed to addition. So, p of x, that is 125x plus negative 75x, it will be 50x, and then minus 4,500. So, for the profit function, we have p of x is equal to 50x minus 4,500, wherein x refers to the number of umbrella na nasusolve. So that's all for this video. I hope you'll find time to explore more about the operations because we cannot discuss everything here, no? Just like yung mga techniques in factoring the equations, it will be a big help for you to save time in performing different operations.